And there's a bunch of things going on. For one, it's SOPA. For those of you who haven't heard about SOPA, this is the legislation that's being considered right now that would actually allow for people to be shut off of the internet if they're allegedly accused of copyright infringement.
True.
And what's happening, they talk about if you like download any music or stuff you're not supposed to share, or sharing something which they say might be inappropriate.
Right.
If perhaps you had a large collection of photos of Suzette Tomlinson that you brought out late at night and you weren't supposed to have those, they might go into your account and shut that down.
I might have told you to do it.
You would begrudge us a few Suzette Tomlinson photos?
Gotta be friends.
I'm telling you, it's so hard to... Well, anyway, let's take a look and see what they're saying about SOPA. I got it right here. So what are they saying? They're saying...
blackout.
That's right. Well, actually, as it turns out, a bunch of websites are actually going to go black.
Yep.
In protest of the SOPA agreement. SOPA, and there's also another agreement called PIPA. The SOPA is the Stop Online Piracy Act, and PIPA is the Protect Intellectual Property Acts. Now the president is saying he may veto this, probably because he didn't veto the other legislation that allowed them to detain and torture American citizens indefinitely.
Yeah, nice
so probably
crossover. I like that.
Yeah, probably because he signed that one without a squeak. He probably decided, well, let me not sign this one so I can try to get some young folks to support me in my upcoming campaign. It is Conspiracy Wednesday. I love how the president signs the easy shit.
Oh.
I don't say.
But you know what? I have to give props and a little recognition, but I'm going to have to take away some points. Penalty points for Google. Google's participating in it by putting, when you go up on their page, they put a black stripe over their name, but you can still search. I said, oh.
Look at the people lining up against this.
I know.
Because
I don't see how they can do that.
Well, see, what's happening is it's a passing of the buck. They're telling the people like Google and the people who, the people provide you internet access, they're telling them, you go police those people and make sure they're not downloading.
Right.
And the people who provide you access to the internet are going, what?
Right, that's what it's there
How do
for.
I do that anyway?
Right.
See, part of it is that they know it can't be done. In other words, I'm 55 years old. I've been collecting music since I was 9 years old.
Right.
I have copied every friggin' thing they've ever made, okay?
Yeah. Yep.
So they can't stop any of it. Their copy protection has never done shit. It doesn't stop any. Have you heard of anybody even getting away? I know guys that wait for copy protection schemes to come out. It comes out at midnight. They've hacked it by 6 a.m., okay? So that zillion dollars has never worked.
It's about who wants to put the money into it so they can secure a greater profit margin because they want to increase profit. They can't shut it down.
No.
They know that. But they have to do enough to say this is about profit. Profit can be done in reduced cost in overhead maintenance or to eliminate your competition.
Plus, Suzette, there's this whole deep pocket thing. If I charge, as Rupert Murdoch has said, that Google is at fault because they own YouTube and that they're allowing people to infringe upon copyrights, I get to sue one of the richest entities in the world, right? So now you can see where this actually goes around. You have an industry that's failing, looking around to get money. So they're mostly looking around for who they can try to sue.
That's right.
Because they think the record industry mistakenly thinks the internet is the reason for their collapse.
Absolutely.
It kind of is, though.
Well, that's what people... Now, let me give you and that's the discussion. Now, and again, you're so good.
I know. I love the transitions you did. Good setup.
Yes.
You know what?
Okay.
You come back.
Now, let me tell you. That's right. Well, let me give you some of the discussions that go against it. People are saying, yes, there is piracy, but it's up to you to find a way to stop it, not to force us as taxpayers or consumers to be burdened. You can't lock down the whole internet.
No, you can't.
Now, let me tell you, this has happened before. I'm old as I remember when cassettes first came out.
What?
Cassettes, actually, the regular cassettes that used to be sold. They sued the industry, sued the cassette makers,
Right.
the manufacturers of cassette decks, and said they wanted a share of every cassette and every cassette deck made because people were going to use those cassettes to copy their music. The same thing occurred when the industry sued the makers of your video recording decks. So VCR, your video cassette recorders, all of them were also sued by the recording industry and the video film industry, saying people are going to use your VCR to copy movies. We want part of every VCR. And not only every VCR, every videotape made, we want you to pay us money because so I've been through this a bunch of times.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it never works.
It never works.
Well, it's a short memory. And like you said,
Never works.
When you got companies that are looking at ways of cutting costs, which are prime directives in many companies, that they just have departments brainstorming over how to eliminate costs, increase profits. Doesn't matter what it is.
But it also comes down to how much money everyone has lost. That's why all the bookstores are closed down. We don't need them anymore. There's ebooks. There's Nook.
Everything
there's,
changes.
Kindle. It's the same thing with the movie industry. It's suffering
Right.
because you can just download movies. That's why Blockbuster doesn't even really exist like
Right.
the stores anymore.
Right.
So I get what they're saying, but it's happened. It's too late.
Well,
It's
that's part of the
happened.
controversy. Now, many people, again, there's a lot of sides to this, is that you have a shift to technology. Right now, the current way to buy music is through downloads.
Yeah.
The youth, for the most part, have abandoned everything, including CDs. They don't
Yeah,
use that,
yeah.
so they don't buy CDs at all. So part of this has been the inability to adjust. Now, let me give you examples of some of the things that have happened, why people say that you shouldn't fight it that way. Back when Star Wars first came out, if anybody is old enough to remember, when Star Wars first came out on VHS, on tape,
I remember.
it was $100.
Yep.
It was $100 with a special sale price of $89.99 for a
Wow.
VHS tape. Now, did we copy Star Wars? You bet your ass we copied it.
Yeah.
Okay, now Star Wars is $19.95. Do you copy it?
Oh,
No.
no.
When was the last time
Not
anybody out there copied a movie?
Yeah.
I used to have a wall of tapes.
Yep.
A wall of videotapes.
Archives.
We used to copy movies and stuff off of TV. I can't remember the last time I tried to copy or hack, because you know why? I don't want to hack them. They're $20 at
Thank
Best
you.
Buy.
Thank you. You don't
So
want- it's
the
not
whole
worth it.
thing was you were always a gouge.
Right.
You were always gouging people. It's never worked. And when you put things at a price that people will pay,
Right.
it's funny. People stop stealing it and they start buying it. Do you remember when everybody used to break in your car to steal car stereos?
Yeah.
People now, Susanna's we laughing.
Right.
There was a time when
that was
everybody's main fear in the world, who's our age, was someone stealing your car stereo.
Right. Yeah.
Because car stereos were felt to be valuable.
More valuable.
You would go out to your car at the end of a concert, they would have kicked your window in and snatched out your tape deck. Does anybody steal car stereos anymore?
No, they rather have the whole car
Right.
Yeah.
and sell it for parts.
Why? Why don't
that's
they?
it.
Why don't they steal car stereo? Because they're $40.
The monetary value has disappeared from them. It's just the way
There
it
is no value
You know what?
anymore.
I say
to that.
this. I said, imagine what the people in silent films were going through when the advent of from the
started
talkies
talking.
and everything, and they said, "Oh my God, the rebellion." I said, "You know what?
It's the same
you can
thing.
get on
Well,
board,
exactly.
or you could just stay here."
It's
Because
already taken off.
the Industrial Revolution, the whole thing. I
Yep.
said, you're living. What they do is this panic attack, and they really are trying to secure
Right.
stock investments. People who are controlling the markets where they want to put their money. They're not
Exactly.
talking to you and I. They're really talking to some other folks to say, you really want to put your money over here. We're doing some progressive things that's going to secure the
Right.
profit margin. They're talking to a different community.
That's all it is.
Yeah, that's
Even
it.
now, like stuff I auditioned for, I went to audition. The pay was like $250. I was like $250. I mean,
You spend that on dinner, huh?
I mean, it used to be unheard of.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like a commercial.
Wow.
You're gonna pay me $250. Wow. Like,
Wow.
It's even like Mercedes Benz. They're doing non-union commercials. Everybody's trying to
Well-
figure out how they can make money, but that's over.
See, that's
Yeah.
part of the
Because of the
controversy.
internet.
Yeah.
You're talking about industries who have terrible reputation. Is it okay to steal from a thief?
Right.
See, the music industry has
Right.
been stealing from people from
For
so
a
long.
long time.
Even artists, there have been
You-
artists out there that said, go sample my stuff because they said, I ain't making no money in no damn way.
You
go
know
sample
what
it.
you have been used to. When somebody tells you this, and when they go, they say, "Go get the actual cost of a T-shirt made in China or wherever." When you get the actual cost of a product you get, you will turn around and accept that if it's marked up 1,000%, that all of a sudden if the industry tells you, you know what, we're not making profit anymore. The value now, we have to sell it for $6.99. I said, so what you're saying is that you've made markups on us for the value that's been overinflated, but we got so used to it that you say you're losing your business. Redirect your business costs. I look at manufacturing.
That's right.
I say
That's
this.
right.
China has figured out how to stay in business flourishing at manufactured costs. And I'm going, what's the difference in the U.S.? Workers' compensation, overhead for the employees. Who are you going to holler at? That's it. They found a way. You may not like it, but they have affected our whole market here. And I said, you need to step back, get on board. What do? Put offline our product development and manufacturing over to other countries. Then come back and complain. Says, you see what they're doing?
See, and that's
so
right.
They brainwash you.
That's right. And there's a lot of ways. Let me give you an example. See if y'all can follow me on this one. They assume that everybody who has an illegal MP3 will have bought the album. How many of you have MP3s that people keep giving you that you don't even want to listen to?
Yeah.
I have so many. Man, take this. It's like jokes people send you. So they assume every MP3 that you have that you didn't buy, that you were going to go buy.
Right.
And that's just a damn lie. People give you stuff all the time, and you don't want it anyway. Hey, man, take this track. Oh, thank you. And they're going to see, we would have made money. You know what? And you know what?
Yeah, that's a wrap.
See,
Remember CDs used to be like 30, 35 bucks?
Oh,
it was overpriced.
If you bought 3 CDs, you spent like $100.
See?
And you have, an artist making like 6 cents a dime off a CD.
Right.
See, it's an industry that, like I said, is it okay to steal from a thief?
Yeah.
Now, people are saying you need to do other things to get people to buy. And that's part of it.
They don't want, they're not here to empower the individual. They're not here to make you a profit.
No,
they're
not.
here to say,
they're not making the money they used to make.
Yeah, no,
that's all it comes down.
If your whole life, your corporate life and privatization of your company has been to go accumulate, and then all of a sudden an industry change comes in and people are going, fair usage makes it more competitive for you guys. They go like, no. Even when Walmart came, the whole identity of them doing something flagrant against the other retailers, they almost branded that to people to say, you don't want this big chain. I said, wow, but you got to go, don't you? You got to go to Walmart. Walmart is almost going like, we can have thousands and thousands of square feet to service you and give you the things at a cheaper rate than what you've paid for. And then employees are still employed. Now, they chose to work for a lesser dollar because they're going, that's a value added. So to me, I like the idea that they pit things against the consumer so they can get the uplift of the enragement. But all it is trying to sit back and tell the stock market, the investors, to say, you don't want Walmart, you want us.
Well, I tell you what, we just have someone who just came in. Everybody.
I know, I'm sitting over talking.
Guest in the studio, ladies and gentlemen. R&B jazz legend, Mr. Phil Perry, everybody.
Wow.
All right, everybody, let's
I'm
get.
like, is everyone going to ignore the fact that someone is standing in the door?
I saw him.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was making the proper cue.
I was on my rant.
That's right.
I was on my rant.
But wait a minute.
I don't get rants too often.
Can you let someone come in the room?
Phil
I learned in my fledgling state not to interrupt things.
I'm like, somebody's here.
Phil, this is my lovely co-host, Suzette Tomlinson.
Suzette, it's a pleasure to meet
It's
you.
a pleasure to meet you as well.
And this
How you
is
doing
the
this
man.
morning?
He's a legend.
Yeah,
I'm
good.
sorry I missed the other day.
I'm sorry you missed it too. It was a lot of fun.
I heard.
I'm sorry, shoot. And the world is sorry.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't feel any older.